Hello guys and welcome to today's video, and we got a lot to discuss today. We're going to go over sea surface temperatures, we're going to go over the Nino 3.4 region, and then we're going to be looking at our two systems that are in the North Indian Ocean and in the Philippines in the Westpac. So this may be a lengthy video here, so please be mindful of that as we go forward here. So here are the sea surface temperatures, and as you can see, these temperatures are really starting to close in farther north in the Atlantic here. As you can see in the Gulf Stream, we got 26s and 27s going all the way up to the very start of North Carolina here. So the Gulf Stream here is very much ready to go if something did come there, and of course the wind shear was low. We got 26s and 27s for most of the Gulf of Mexico. But as you can see here in the north and Gulf of Mexico, we're still up there in the 23s to 25. So this is going to have to change here over the next couple of weeks, which I do assume that it will as we go out through time. The Caribbean here is plenty warm enough. We got 29s and even some 30s, a small speck of 30 there popping up there just south of Cuba. We've got 29s, 28s, and 27s, 26s, which is plenty good enough for tropical development. Western Atlantic, check. 27s and 26s, plenty good enough. And here's where it gets weird because this is the MDR region, right? These MDR temperatures are still cool. I mean, they're not cold, but they're cool. Usually by now we should be seeing these 26s and 27s coming up closer to the Cape Verde Islands here. So it's plenty cool here in the MDR region, and I don't expect this to last much longer. I do expect these temperatures to head north very slowly because I did hear that by the end of the month we could have some weakening trades that are going to start warming up these waters a little bit. So we're going to have to wait and find out what goes on with that. All right, so here's the CDAS Nino 3.4 index, and as you can see, it went through quite the roller coaster ride from the start of February, pretty much, and then it just boosted straight up to a negative zero point 0.2 line here, and then it's going through peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys, small peaks and valleys, big peak, and now it's going to probably go on a big alley drop. The value here is negative 0.140. So this, as you can tell, it's in the last 2 weeks it has decreased in temperature pretty rapidly, and I do expect this to continue as we go out through hurricane season. And some people are saying that La Nina could make a comeback during late season this year. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. If we're getting it in September, October, and November, then those months are going to be pretty serious business in the Atlantic. All right, so here is the CDAS SST Anomaly 7-day change, and as you can see, this MDR region is like really cool right now. We got plenty of blues galore here to keep the temperatures down for the time being. Like I said, I do think this will uh, evade a little bit to the north, maybe, or maybe we will see these warmer subtropical temperatures dip south, and then maybe the equatorial Atlantic warmer temperatures will boost north, and then that'll probably help boost the warmth of the MDR region. As you can see, there's plenty of warmth in the northern Caribbean, just off the coast of Florida and western Atlantic. So these are pretty nice for development here too. Um, the central, south, eastern, and western Caribbean are all either neutral or below average for temperatures here. All right, we're gonna go to the Gulf here, and you can see some below average temperatures here for the 7-day change, um, and some above average to neutral elsewhere in the Gulf of Mexico. Um, these, I don't think I've ever seen it so complex, the situation here. I do see that it's going to be an above average season, but we're gonna have to see how these temperatures rebound in the MDR and some in the Caribbean and Gulf here. I mean, I do see the Caribbean and the Gulf warming up, but the MDR is gonna be hard to do until probably like late May, going into June and July. All right, so here is the mean of all the sea surface temperatures out there. And as you can see, there's a huge chunk of blues here going into the eastern and central and western Caribbean, all the way out out the whole MDR, with a few speckles of neutral to a few speckles of warm above average sea surface temperatures. And this is not really a good look if you want an active MDR season. Like I said, we're just gonna have to wait and see, how this rebounds throughout the next month or two as we go towards the peak of the hurricane season. Now, right here in the subtropics in the western Atlantic, that is warm, man. This is so warm. Um, this is way above average in these red and orange sections. So the subtropics may be open for business this year. Um, Off the western Atlantic, that's probably going to be open for business. And into the Gulf of Mexico is probably going to be open for business. At this point, I do think there's going to be some Caribbean storms, but I don't think they're going to be Caribbean cruisers like some other seasons. Um, I just, even though the water temperatures are warm enough, it all just depends on where in the MDR these form to be Caribbean cruisers. And it also depends on how weak or strong the high pressure is up north in the subtropics, like the Azores and Bermuda highs. And here we're going to look at the Pacific real quick for the anomaly means. And as you can see, there's just a huge cold pool here that persists in the Pacific. And this is the averages, by the way. Mean really means average of what's going on out there. So, from what I've heard, the La Nina is dead for now. It's gone, according to NOAA, and we're now in cool neutral conditions right now. So, if you think about it, cool neutral conditions favor the Atlantic more than anything else. So that should be a sign right there that it's going to be bad news bears for the Atlantic in terms of numbers. Probably not 2005 or 2020 numbers, but the numbers are going to probably be pretty high. Like I said, I probably have between 16 and 20 named storms going through the season. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. Anyways, let's switch gears a little bit here, and we're going to talk about the other systems that are going around the world. And this was once Tropical Storm Crising, and as you can see, it has definitely weakened to a tropical depression. And as you can see, let's take a look at the radar here. There looks like there was a convective burst that was trying to form up, but it was a little bit too late before it made landfall. Looks like it's being sheared too from the west. So that plus the landfall is keeping this at bay. So luckily for the Philippines, this did not have enough time to really get going and doing anything. But who knows? It probably won't survive the trip along the southern Philippine islands because there's mountainous terrain in these areas. So my best bet here is that this is going to get sheared. Excuse me. This will probably get sheared apart as we go out through time. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Anyways, let's take a look at the coordinates. It's at 7.5 north, 126.3 east. The maximum winds is 25 knots, which is 30 miles per hour. So it's definitely downgraded even farther from 35, and now it's 30 miles per hour. Minimal central pressure is 1,004 millibars. And let's take a look at what the Joint Typhoon Warning Center has to say. And yeah, it's pretty much just down to 25 knots here, and the Joint Typhoon Warning Center does not foresee this doing anything else here. Who knows? I don't know what's going to be left of this as we go out through time and it tries to go into the South China Sea. But I think this is a done deal. But we'll definitely pay attention to that as we go out through time. Now this right here, 92A, Invest 92A, this is going to be the big one of the North Indian Ocean and the Arabia Sea. This is serious. I'm not gonna fearmonger. Obviously, that's not what I do. But we are gonna look at a few models here that suggest that this is gonna turn into a pretty major system. We're only for that reason and why I don't fearmonger. Both models that we're gonna look at, we're only gonna go out 5 days. 5 days is all we're gonna go out. Anything more than that is just a no go. We're not gonna do it. So here are the coordinates and what's going on with the system. It's located at 10.0 north, 71.9 east. Maximum sustained winds are at 30 knots or 30 miles per hour. Minimal central pressure is at 1,000 millibars, so it's starting to get down there. It's almost under 1,000 millibars. So I do expect this to become a tropical storm, probably later tonight or tomorrow, depending on what's going on out there. And here are 92A Invest model track guidance. And as you can see, um, there's two countries that are in the limelight of this system: India and Pakistan. It just depends on what the high pressure is doing here and how it interacts with other things going forward is going to be where this goes. And here's a rule of thumb: the stronger a storm gets, the more north it's probably going to go. And you can see this from the guidance models here of where this is probably going to go. Here are the 92A Invest GPS tracks and minimal MSLP. And as you can see, the average mean here is going down to 986. So that's still pretty up there. That's near Category 2 status, or it's mid grade, high Cat 1 to beginning of Cat 2. And as you can see, we got some oranges and reds here, and some oranges are 980 in the 970 category. So the GEPS wants to make this a pretty formidable system as we go out through time. Here are the GEFS on tracks and minimal MSLP, and this one is a different story than the other one. This one has a average mean of 952 millibars. And I'm not liking the looks of this because we got pinks and blues, right? Pinks and blues. We got between 950 and 940 and 940 and 930 millibars. So that is easily a category 4 cyclone that might be knocking on the doorstep of India and Pakistan. And you got some members going to Oman and some other places here. So, but my main focus right now is India and Pakistan because I think that they're starting to really come upon an agreement between these two countries. And once we get out through time a little bit more, they're going to have a little bit more of an agreement of where the system might go. All right, so here we are. We're going to be looking at the GFS here. This is the 12Z run for today. And as you can see, this is 6 hours out. Well, it's probably more like 2 hours out from now. And as you can see, here's our 1001 millibar pressure system here. And as you can see, the shear is low. It's real low. It's only 5 knots here. And we're going to go out through time to 24 hours. And as you can see, it's 991 here. And it's moving pretty much north. And it's working with 14 knots this year, which is still good for a developing tropical cyclone. Oh, What's this? We also got another system here forming, maybe forming in the next 2 days, but we'll worry about that later. Here's GFS at 48 hours. It's 966 now. So we're working at 22 knots of wind shear probably in the area. So it's moderate. It's moderate. That's probably what's gonna 72, 949. Now we're getting there. This is gonna be a formidable system, and the shear is 27 knots. But I think this is overestimating the shear because if there was 27 knots of shear out there, this wouldn't be 949 millibars. That is for certain. I think the wind shear is being overplayed by the GFS just a little bit. 96 hours is we're getting close to category 5 stats here. 929 millibars, working with 13 knots. See, that's more like it. But we want this to actually be high now at this point because now it's getting to be crunch time of where this is going to make landfall. And this is with the crisis going on in India right now, with the overwhelming amount of COVID cases. They really do not need this right now, and neither does Pakistan for that matter. Just nobody needs a Category 4 or 5 storm to come knocking on their door. Um, but we can't do anything about Mother Nature. That's out of our control, and that's the sad reality of it all. There's 120. This is 927 millibars. Let's see, it looks like it's going right for Pakistan here on the GFS, and it's still working with 13 knots of shear. So this is not, this ain't good. And I'm not going to go any farther than this because, as I said, I do not want to make any speculations or, well, obviously, it's either going to be Pakistan or India. I mean, there's no getting around that, unfortunately. Um, I just hope and pray for the people over there that I hope that they're paying attention to what's going on in their ocean as we go out through time. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the ECMWF or the European, and as you can see right now, there's nothing out there. It's just a trough, a monsoon trough, pretty much. And there's 24 hours. As you can see, we're at 997. So the European wants to rapidly form this as we go out through one day. 48 hours is at a 984. 72 hours is at a 973. And in 4 days, it pretty much wants to go. It's 957, so it's rapidly strengthening here. And then it goes into the 5 day mark. It goes into India, impacting India and Pakistan, um, with some pretty heavy winds and rain and storm surge. I'm sure will be a problem with this. Um, like I said, I just want people to pay attention to what's going on out there, and I will definitely have more updates for you guys tomorrow as well. So anyway, with that, that's going to be my update for today. Just if you're living in India and Pakistan, just be mindful of the situation out there. If your local management tells you to get out and prepare, get out and prepare. I mean, the only way you could save lives is to listen to your local management. And I know that COVID is a pretty nasty deal in India right now, but I don't know how they're going to deal with that. It's going to be difficult, to say the least. Anyways, Pakistan, India, pay attention. I'll keep you guys updated. Thank you guys for watching and have a nice day.